We are at Lucketts. We get 4 hours of early access and then the general public can come in. Nice thing about early buyer passes is you get free access for the rest of the weekend. Today I'm just here to have a good time and see all the creativity around me. Let's go. Lucketts Market takes place in Berryville, Virginia at the Clark County Fairgrounds. It is put on by the Lucketts store, and they do it twice a year, in the spring and in the fall. And they have over 200 vendors come to these markets and set up, and they put in so much time and effort to make the most amazing displays with all of their items. You could be there all weekend and not even see everything. It is just spectacular. Every event that they do has a different theme, so you can see they had these beautiful quilted items that they handmade. Big mushrooms, kites, signs. They had a cute little dog that they made that was quilted, little pots for the tables in the food area that had quilting on them. I mean, they think of just every little detail to make this a true experience. It's not just like a regular flea market. This is an experience that people look forward to. And these vendors, they come from all over the United States, and some of the vendors even go to other countries and bring items back, so you're getting things from all around the world, and it is just something beautiful to behold. And so I tried to get little glimpses of as many booths as I could, and when I could find the name, I also put the name on there, but I know I missed some because it was very packed and fast moving. So I did the best I could in showing you a little glimpse of the beautiful Lucketts Spring Market. I started off just kind of perusing around, getting a lay of the land, and kind of seeing what was there. These pots were so beautiful, and I should have bought a couple of them because the price was great. But it was right when I walked in, I just wasn't quite ready to purchase anything yet. So I just shopped around for a little bit and took it all in. In the front half of this market, you'll find the barns, and those are filled with the bigger vendors, the more curated designs, really beautiful spaces. And then in the back half, and kind of just sprinkled throughout, are the smaller vendors. They go under their own tents, and it's a little more flea market style, although they do curate their spaces as well. And this is where I really started to shop and kind of get into my groove. I really enjoyed this area, and I got a bunch of things throughout this space. As I was walking throughout this space, I heard someone checking out, and they were talking about a big pile of brass items that they had found in the back of this vendor's space, and so I booked it over to where she was pointing, and I did uncover quite a few beautiful brass items here. And so a couple of them I actually brought home, and you will see them in the haul at the end. As I go through these spaces, you'll have to let me know if there's anything that you would have picked up that I missed, anything that catches your eye. I'm definitely spying a lot of items that I wish I had looked at a little further before I moved on, but it is a little tricky to record and shop at the same time. And it was quite crowded during the early access hours. I was not expecting that. So I had to move quickly to get what I wanted. Fun fact, I collect these Fenton glass pieces. My grandma also collected glass, and it's in my blood apparently. So I just like those, the shoes, the Avon bottles, those types of pretty glass pieces I collect. That one didn't have a price on it though, so I passed it by. This particular style, this more flea market style, is more my vibe. I just enjoy a treasure hunt. I kind of know what I'm looking for, and so I really like this style, and that's where I got the majority of my pieces, was the more flea market style in the back area. But a lot of people prefer the barns where things are more curated and they can see it styled up and how they would put it in their homes. And I did notice that by the time I got around to some of the bigger barns, a lot of the big furniture pieces were already sold. So a lot of people who get these early access tickets, they know what they want. They either saw a piece on the shop's Instagram or social media beforehand as a preview and they know what they want and they're going for it, or they're designers and they're looking for big pieces to put in their clients' homes, things like that. So it's worth it for them to get these early access tickets that cost a little more because they know exactly what they want and they're getting really big pieces. Versus I just enjoy taking it all in and seeing all this set up right from the beginning when it's nice and fresh and getting some of the best little goodies. This was one of my favorite vendors. They had a nice big tent full of fantastic finds, and I spent a lot of time shopping in here. Unfortunately, they do not have social media, so I can't tag them. I asked them about it, but I had a lot of fun shopping with them, and we actually went back again on Sunday and brought our kids, and my daughter found a vintage Barbie doll in here that she loved, and they were sweet enough to haggle with her a little bit. She had a good time trying to haggle the price down, and she adores that Barbie and plays with it every day, so well worth it. They also had the most amazing stash of brass. I was on a brass hunt, let me tell you. Wait till you see my haul. Oh my goodness, I got so many brass items, and I couldn't believe how many brass animals and figurines that they had. It's so hard to find them out and about in the thrifting world these days, and they had such an amazing haul. And so I did buy many things from them. Then I entered into more of the barns where the bigger vendors were. They had the most amazing collection of items, and it was just fun to walk around and take it all in. I did buy a couple little things here and there from these vendors, but most of what I bought was in the other section that was more flea market style. Clearly, I really love swans. I had no idea that I love swans this much, but as you can see through this footage, I am clearly drawn to the swans. So you will have to take a guess as to how many I ended up buying, because to be honest, I was quite surprised by how many I came home with. I had no idea that I had bought that many. But yeah, apparently I love swans. Let me know if you also love them. How cute is this setup? I just could not believe this. I thought it was the cutest thing with all the pretty pops of pink and other pastels. And as you'll see, they have this whole wall of books and watering cans that are actually little elephants in all these different pastel colors. I just thought that this space was so perfect for spring and so well thought out. All right, we are back from Lucketts. It's been a few days. I've had a few days to rest and recoup, and now I am ready to show you all the goods. We had such a fabulous time. We spent about 4 hours there on Friday and then went back for another 2 hours on Sunday and got some good items then as well, and it was just a lot of fun. I really appreciate all the hard work that those vendors put in. It's out of this world, and it was a rainy week. It stormed on Friday, like, whew. They did a good job because you would never even know. Like, it looked beautiful. You would never know they were like tromping through mud and muck the whole week. So thank you so much to everybody who put it on. And it was so fun. I got to meet a lot of people who I've followed through social media, people who I've looked up to, who I've talked to but never met in person. I got to meet Amanda from Amanda's Mercantile. She was right in front of me in line, and she was kind enough to let me have my fangirl moment. And we chatted for a bit. So I appreciated that. And just soaked it all in. It was such a fun event, and honestly, I would love to be a vendor at Lucketts Market one day. That is a dream of mine, and it's been a dream of mine for many, many years. So I'm just gonna put that out in the universe and pray that one day it happens. So without further ado, let's get into this Lucketts 2025 haul. So first of all, this type of market is a beautifully curated market. It is not your typical flea market where you're gonna find super low prices and have great profit margins as a reseller. That's not the type of market this is. This is one where they're gonna show you exactly how you wanna use it in your home. They have staged things beautifully. They've shined things up. They've refinished them. We've got handmade items. This is like the best of the best type of stuff in the vintage antique world. A lot of these items have even been brought over from Europe or all over the country, and so you're having to think about the costs of what the person has to pay for travel and transporting everything. And so I feel like the prices are very fair considering all the work that goes into curating these pieces and then putting on that market. I feel like it's very fair, but it's not necessarily for resellers and their profit margins. So some of these items I will be keeping for myself, and some of them I will be putting up on my Etsy, just because it wasn't like, oh, it was a great deal. I just want to share with you some of Lucketts. I know that many of you will not ever get to come to Lucketts because you don't live nearby, and so this allows you to have a little piece of Lucketts in your home. So I can't wait to show you all that I got. I was shocked by how much brass I bought. Apparently I was in a brass mood, and I don't often find brass figurines and animals and things like that when I'm out thrifting. And so of course these are the best picks of the picks from around the country, and I found some good stuff, specifically brass swans. I was into the swans on this day, and I found some beautiful ones. There were some bigger ones that I would have loved to bring home, but they were out of my price range, some medium-sized ones that I kind of wish I had bought, and then I got this one. And this one was $29, which I thought was a very good price. It has some patina on it, but you could also easily shine it up and make it shiny, more modern again. Very heavy weight, just beautiful. I don't know what it is about swans, but they're so pretty. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna keep this one or put it on my Etsy. She's so pretty. Another swan is this cute little planter or toothpick holder. There are a lot of different uses you could have for it, things you could put in there. I just think it's so pretty, the detail on it. The patina is just perfect on this one. You don't need to shine this one up. I think this one was $20, and I bought it originally planning to keep it, and I realized how many swans that I bought, and so I don't know if I will keep this one or put this one on my Etsy, but I just think she's totally perfect. Told y'all I bought a lot of swans, okay? I got this one, big one. I got this one, and I got these two cuties. So I'm definitely gonna keep these. These were $6 each. Had to get those. I'm definitely gonna keep those, but I might put the rest on my Etsy. I just never find these when I'm out and about, and so I think they're so pretty, and I wanna share them with you all. If anyone else loves swans, then they will be up. So I'm trying to swap things out in my home. So if I keep something from a thrift haul, I'm going to be giving something away or selling something from my home so that I don't just hoard all the things. So because I'm keeping a couple of those swans, I am going to let go of my beautiful brass ducks that I've had for many years. I have a pair of them. They can be good bookends or just decor on your shelf, and they're in great condition, solid brass pieces. So those will be up on my Etsy. I'm gonna part with them, but I can't hoard all of the brass birds. One last brass bird that I got is this little guy. I think he's just a duck, not a swan, from what he looks like. But again, he's solid brass, and he's going on my Etsy. I don't remember how much he was, but I just had to have him apparently. Keeping with the whole brass trend, I found these beautiful brass giraffes. I'd never seen these before, and it was a pretty good price from what I remember for the pair of them actually. And so I grabbed those. Those will be up on my Etsy, and yeah, I just think that they're so sweet, and there's such good detail on them. Again, the patina is great. You don't need to shine them up. So cute. And the last brass animal that I got is this beautiful horse. I just loved how it had a base and it had just some life and movement to it. Nice and smooth. Love the patina on it. I don't remember how much this one was, but I think I got a lot of mine all from one vendor that I just loved. I went Friday and then I went back on Sunday and got more from them. All right, I'm gonna take a break from the brass. I do have more brass items, but I'm gonna take a break from that and show you this beauty. This is a gorgeous antique box, and it's very fragile. Unfortunately, I do not think that I can ship this item, otherwise I would. Has a mirror and glass on the bottom, and the chippiness of it and the color and the art underneath and like just the chippiness under there, I don't know, it just spoke to me. And it was only $10. So do I know what I'm gonna do with this? No, but it spoke to me. These two pieces I saw as I was going out on the first day. We were literally just walking out, booking it, and I saw them out the corner of my eye at the last vendor. It's actually the first vendor when you walk in, last vendor when you walk out. And it was Polish pottery. And I thought, that can't possibly still be there, because we'd been there for like 3 hours at that point, and it was packed even during the early buyer hours, and people knew what they wanted and things were going fast. And so I couldn't believe that these were still sitting there. And so I quickly went up to them and grabbed them. They were 18 each, I think. I got this one and this beautiful one. Ah. And 18 each I thought was a great price. And so I went and checked out, and they were like, oh, we just put those out. I was like, okay, well, that explains it, because these things would not be sitting around lasting 3 hours in a vintage market. No way. So I grabbed these each, and these are going to be staying with me because I collect Polish pottery, and especially in these blue tones. So perfect. There were so many beautiful crocks there. If that's your jam and that's what you put in your home, you can find the best of the best at Lucketts, let me tell you. I don't have a ton of them, but I don't have a ton of space to put them, so I would have loved to buy them all. But I just bought a couple that I found. I think I found them on the last day, and I bought this one. It's really hard to tell, but it's actually a navy color, and it's just kind of like muddled and really pretty. And it doesn't have any chips, it just has like some differences in the glaze and everything. Really beautiful. I just couldn't pass it up since it's blue, and I have a ton of blue obviously in my home. This one was $22. And then I also bought from the same vendor this big one, this big brown one. I have a lot of browns and creams and things in my home, so I grabbed this one. I think this one was only like 16 or 18, and it's just a big beautiful one. These are great for putting your rolling pins in, or your dried flowers. I like to put my dried hydrangeas in these at the end of the season, things like that. So that one's staying with me. Another piece that I found from the vendor who had a lot of the brass animals was this piece, and I just thought it was so pretty. It's so hard to find wooden stools in good condition, and they do very well on Etsy because they're hard to find. And so I just had to grab this one. It's in perfect condition. I'll clean it up some more and condition the wood, and it will shine for another 100 years, I don't know. It's made of flaming birch wood. It was labeled under the bottom, handwritten, what type of wood it was made out of, and I just think that was so beautiful, and it was only $15, so that was actually a pretty good steal. So I grabbed these pretty mirrors. There's 2 of them, and they have the velvet on the back, definitely older, kind of like I think they're metal, not resin, and the mirrors are in great condition, which is hard to find. So the pair of them was only 18. That was a great deal. I saw this little cutie and I just had to have it. There's something about bows and brass. I don't know, I love it. What am I gonna do with it? I don't know. But it was $10, and it's just so sweet, solid brass. It's Andrea by Sadek. I always like that brand of pieces, and so I don't know if I will keep this in my home or if it will end up on my Etsy. I'll have to try it in a few spots, but I think it'd be so sweet with like a towel on it. Like a lot of towels have little loops that you can hang, or your apron for cooking, hang that on it. Just a lot of different uses for this sweet little bow. The largest item that I bought was this copper and brass ceramic coal scuttle. It is huge. It's very dirty. It actually had some water in it when I bought it because of all the rain that had been coming down the previous days, but I can see past the dirt and the water to the beauty. And this piece, I just saw it and knew I needed to have it, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for. And then I was walking around and looking at other vendors after I bought it, and I saw that one of them had this in the middle of their tablescape with a big, beautiful plant on it, and it just looked gorgeous. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll do that. I also might just put it by my fireplace and put a plant in it. But it is missing this handle. Like, it would have two that match, but that doesn't bother me because I'm just gonna take this piece out and put the handle underneath and you won't even notice. So it was $38, which is a great price for these. And I actually have a smaller one as well. And I have to decide if I wanna let that one go since I'm bringing this one home. I'm trying to do that so I don't hoard everything. My last two brass pieces, which you saw in the footage, was this little candelabra. I don't often find the ones that have three. So I grabbed that. I think that was only $12, which was a pretty good deal for that. I also got this beautiful brass etched vase, and I just don't often find these, so I grabbed it. It was only $15. I thought that was a good price for it. Very solid and heavy. This will be up on my Etsy, and all my pieces, I don't shine up my brass to get them back to the original color. That's just not what I prefer in my home, so I don't do that. I figured whoever buys it can do that if they want to, but it's very hard to put that patina back on. It takes some time. And so I do oil them up, and it makes them just nice and shiny and gets all the dirt and grime off, but you still keep all the patina. So all my brass pieces get that little love and treatment. Okay, I lied. I have more brass. Man, I was on a roll with the brass. I got these sweet little bells. 1, 2, and 3, and they have really pretty etchings on them, and there were a whole bunch of them, and I just grabbed these 3. I have sold some bells before on Etsy, and so I thought I would try these out as well. Sunday, when they were doing 40% off everything, some of the vendors were doing sales, some weren't, but this particular one was doing 40% off of everything. And so I looked for a long time in their booth trying to find some things that I could get. And I only came out with one thing because honestly I had bought so much at that point already. I did not need to buy any more. But I did find this beautiful brass pedestal bowl, and it has the really pretty kind of, I don't know if that's enamel or what that is in there, but it's really pretty. And it has butterflies and beautiful pink flowers, and I will clean this all up, and that will be available on my Etsy. All right, and then my last couple pieces might be some of my absolute faves. This beautiful little oil on board piece, I just thought was so sweet. I love the colors in it. Y'all know I have a whole gallery wall with art, and most of it's floral art. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna put this in my gallery wall or if I'm gonna sell it. I don't know if I can part with it, honestly. It was $36, so I'm probably gonna hold on to it. I just think it's really sweet. And I also found these beautiful pieces, which they're made in Japan, and it's fabric that has been printed on, I guess. And then the wood frames, and they have the little brass piece at the top. I just think those are really sweet, and it was only $28 for the pair, so $14 each. I think those are really beautiful. So that is the Lucketts Spring 2025 haul, and I think it was a pretty good one. And I'm glad that I got to find some things to keep for myself and find some things to share with you, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to go back to the fall market. They have another one in October, and I will definitely be going to that. So until next time, happy thrifting, friends.